What is up, everybody? It is Thursday night. You know what that means? It's time for Jackson Kayak Dock Talk. Let's get after this thing. Welcome back, one and all. 47th edition of Jackson Kayak Dock Talk. We're happy to have you. Got a couple cool guests today. We're going to get into some topics today that some of you might have interest in. Some of you may bring an interest to you. And that's what we can hope for around here at Jackson Kayak Dock Talk. We're here to talk fishing. Today we're going to talk fishing and veterans. And my esteemed colleagues here on Dock Talk, also host of Doc Talk tonight, as they are. We're all here. We're all hosts. We're going to start at the top. We're going to go to Mr. Rudy Yarworth. Rudy, tell us a little bit about you and where you're from and what kind of Jackson kayak you're fishing in these days.
Well, Rudy Yarworth. I'm from the Maryland Eastern Shore. Um, and I fish in a NAR and also a Kusa X. So depending on which day you catch me, you'll find me in one of those two kayaks. That's pretty much it, man. Just down here on the shore, chilling, enjoying some snow, and not sure what else you need to know from me.
Well, at this stage in February, are any of us really still enjoying snow?
No, I'm not used to that here. We usually don't get snow. Got 6 inches yesterday, and tomorrow we're going to be beating up a few of my kayaking buddies, Will and my son Josh, and we're going to head south to South Carolina to go
Sounds
fish down
warm.
there. With hopefully meet up with Andrew, but we'll see
There you
what
go.
happens.
Moving right along to our next esteemed colleague slash host slash representative, Mr. Dale. Tell us a little bit
Right.
about you, where you're from, and what kind of Jackson kayak you're fishing in here in 2025.
So, Del Patton, born and raised here in Oklahoma, got lucky enough to retire from the military here in Oklahoma. Um, this year for tournaments, I will be fishing out of my 2024 Jackson NAR. However, the small bodies of water, I'm still rocking a Jackson Kusa HD. You can pry that out of my cold, dead fingers. It's my favorite kayak.
Everybody needs one of those. Rudy's got one too that he took home from me. We'll talk about that at some point, I'm sure. He ain't gonna let me live that down. But
Mm.
yeah, so tonight, gentlemen, tonight we're talking all about veterans, kayak fishing, how to be involved, what can kayak fishing do for different veterans. And Dell, I'm actually going to let you kick this thing off here. Kind of give us your personal journey. Can you share your personal journey about, what you did in the service and kind of what led you to maybe kayak fishing?
Okay. Um, so like I said, just retired actually right at a year ago after 20 years in the Army, finished up as a signal officer. And I guess it's been about 3 years now, 3 years ago now. Uh, my wife and kids all wanted kayaks. My kids are in their 20s, and believe it or not, 20-year-old kids still want kayaks so they can get pool noodles and joust on kayaks. So that that started our entry into kayaking. So I wanted to fish in kayak. My wife ordered me a kayak. Unfortunately, it was not my Kusa HD, but it took me all of 30 minutes the very first time. As soon as I caught that first fish, I was hooked on kayak fishing. And the 1 hour trips after work turned into 2 hour trips. Then it turned into 3 and 4 hours on Saturday. And then it turned into 6 hours on Saturday. And that's when I was like, okay, my starter kayak is not what I need it to be. And that's when I jumped into the Jackson Coosa HD and have not looked back since. So yeah, now I'm fishing tournaments, which growing up I thought I'd have wanted to be a tournament fisherman, never did it. And here I am actually living my best life on a kayak, tournament fishing and meeting all kinds of great people.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. Before I let Rudy talk, though, I gotta know, Rudy. Um, Dell brought up something that I think might settle the score once and for all when we have our next Jackson Kayak Tournament Classic. Pool noodle jousting. I just need to know: are you in?
I mean, jousting for state sports, Maryland.
Maryland versus Indiana in the Jackson Kayak Jousting competition. It'll be a side pot.
Absolutely.
I may
I'm
be
ready.
doing that at tournaments this year. I see some of my guys to beware if they see a pool noodle in my kayak that I may just buzz by him and hit him in the back of the head.
It sounds like a lot of fun, actually. I think we could have a good time with that. We need to get Dale out to the Jackson Kayak Classic and do a little pool noodle jousting competition.
The way better intro than mine. I kind of left a bunch of stuff off, huh?
You set the table. Come on, we're military guys. The first guy does not do everything perfect. You got to leave meat on the bone for the next guy.
I agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. So let's move over to Rudy. Rudy, kind of give us your background, your story through the military, and kind of maybe a little bit how you got into kayak fishing.
So I spent 8 years in the Marine Corps, 2 in the Army Reserves. Served in the Gulf War, Task Force Papa Bear. Did some time in Honduras. Was in Mogadishu, Somalia. Task Force Mogadishu in the beginning of all that. And when I got out of the military, after doing some time like, downrange, I worked a lot and just it was nonstop. Like I think I had 3 full-time jobs. I was in the reserves. Really didn't sleep, but I needed to try to figure a way to disconnect. And I started off in power sports, obviously, but it was in a canoe, unfortunately. But I could bring my kids with me, and I found that kind of brought it relaxed me, and it brought the family together, and it gave me a way to ground myself. Um, didn't realize it yet until one day I was sitting in front of the TV and I was watching old Jim Salmon out there in a kayak, reeling in these huge fish. And I said, "Man, I want to do that." My kids were getting my 2 oldest were getting a little older, and that canoe was a lot to do by yourself. So I ended up jumping into a big tuna about 2012, 2013, and I was sold right then and there. Big tuna was important for me because the Lord blessed me with another child 11 years later. I thought I was done with that, and he's actually a Marine right now. He was in the service now, and I used to set that big tuna up, take him out, and when he's either too tired or scared because I was going too far off the shore, I like to take him back, switch that thing into single, and get after it. And I guess we're like 8 kayaks into it. I think I have every kayak I ever owned. Um, so everyone kind of jokes with me, "Are you ever going to sell one of those?" Probably not. They're like my kids. Um, they're here forever. But so anyway, fast forward, moved down here to the Eastern Shore, and I'm fishing a charity kayak tournament down in Chrisfield called Tangier Classic. It was the first year, and as I talking to one of the people that tournament, Adam Corey and Ashley Northam, who happened to also were working Heroes on the Water at the time. They talked me into coming to a Hero on the Water event, and lo and behold, a year later, I was started running that event and sharing basically that kayak lifestyle with everybody. Um, it's pretty much it, man. Um, in a nutshell.
So
Now
let's
who's
kind of
giving away all the good stuff? You said my intro was better. Yours is much better than mine.
I know I had to kick it up a notch. I don't have any
Okay.
crayons to munch on. You know how it is.
I might have some around for you.
Thanks,
so
man.
let's talk about the impact of kayak fishing. Rudy, you kind of started that way just a little bit. Um, what ways has kayak fishing impacted you, and has it how has it helped you find peace after serving and whatnot?
I could tell you one thing. Um, anyone watching this is probably a kayak angler, right? And when you look at folks in the kayak angling community, there's a lot of camaraderie. You know, as much as there's a competitive um, part of it, like even when you're kayak bass fishing or out there with your friends fishing, talk a little trash. It kind of reminds you of the military. That's how we were. We're competitive, yet we're brothers and sisters and in arms. It's kind of the same thing. I guess we're brothers and sisters of the plastic hull, so to speak. Um, and we're out there just having a good time. And it's like no matter where you go, you know, in the military, you meet someone who's a veteran, you can strike a conversation up. It's like you're good old friends, even if you never met before. I feel the same way with kayak fishing. You pull up to a somebody's pulling up, you know, in a kayak, no matter what the brand it is, it's like, you start talking, oh yeah, I was here last week. And it's just that community. It's a community just like the military. I think there's a lot of like that, a lot in common. And you see a lot of veterans out there kayak fishing. Same thing with first responders. They're just out there and they just like that. As my friend Will would say, you're hanging together, but you're still alone. You're like you're by yourself. So you could be in a big group, but still have your own space. Um, and that's something that a lot of veterans like have someone to chat with, but still have your space, so to speak.
It's
And
great.
being out in
That's a
nature, of
very good
course. Yeah.
answer. Yeah, nature, mother nature. How about you, Dale? How's it impact you? You've recently retired.
Yeah. So a little more backstory. Probably 10 years ago, I really got into running and started running half marathons and was training for a full marathon. It was nothing for me to run 20 miles a week. Um, and I would get so stressed at work and with everything going on, there would be Saturdays, my wife would literally throw my running shoes at me and say, "Go away, don't come back for an hour and a half." And what she meant was go run, clear your mind. That's honestly what I have found in kayak fishing. So I haven't been out in a couple of months and I'm over here getting all stressed out. And I just think to those times on the water out there where it's quiet. And that's now my new happy place. I can no longer run due to injuries, but I can still get in my kayak and get out where it's quiet and peaceful and quiet my mind and then go out like Rudy said, go out with my friends. We're close enough to have that connection, but we're still in our own kayaks. And I would do that with running. I would go run with other people, but you're still in your own mind, but you're with people as well. So that's where I've really enjoyed the kayak fishing is it's replaced something I can no longer do, but I get that same sense of peace from being outside and being with nature, like Rudy was saying at the end. There's a bigger world out there, and kayaking allows me to get out there and realize there's more.
There goes Will
And
with the
that kind
comment I just mentioned.
of and that kind of goes into this just a little bit. Let's talk about more of the mental health benefits that kayak fishing has to offer individuals, just in general. I mean, they don't necessarily need to have been a service member, or they could be a first responder, police force. There's a lot of different things, even just regular work life. Kayak fishing can be good for that mental health. And Dale, I'm gonna let you kind of keep going in that direction, and maybe go into how it helps.
Um, so like I said, it's taken over that running where my wife would kick me out of the house. Now she kicks me out to go fishing, threaten me with a good time. It it's great to be able to have that one thing that will recenter your mind physically, your body physically, your mind spiritually, emotionally, um, and then just the people you meet out on the water. Like Rudy said, there's I've met so many people out on the water or through different groups on social media. Um, and then so Rudy's a Marine. I was in the Army. We'll make jokes back and forth, but there's that connection. Well, I'm starting to see that connection when I see my local kayak shop sticker on the back of a truck or on the back of a car. I'm like, I want to go talk to that person. There's already that connection with kayaking, and I I now get to travel around a little bit around the country to different areas. And one of the things I'll do is I'll get on the Jackson kayak page and look for the closest dealer to where I'm at, and just jump in and say hi to them. And there, again, there's that automatic connection, kayaking. So you're never alone in a kayak, which I think is great. The go fishing alone together. You're never alone in a kayak because there's always a group around you somewhere that can help. And yeah, there's always a group that'll help you get through whatever it is that you're going through.
Now, a little segue here to Rudy, and with the Heroes on the Water side of things, um, how have you seen kayak fishing offer mental health benefits to some of the veterans that are coming to you guys through Heroes on the Water?
Well, like I mentioned, camaraderie is a big part of veteran lifestyle. You meet people through your career, and you get so close to them. When you leave, you could be away for 10 years, but you run into that person at a coffee shop. It's like you never left. So that's something that we miss when we get out there because life's busy, lots of distractions. But when you get out there and you find something in common and you find a community like that, you get that camaraderie back. As far as like mental health, well, I mean, I'm gonna need a lot more to kayaking to help me out. But after I was a Marine, but it does help because when you get out there, it's unlike a boat where you got to put gas in it, make sure it's running, work it down. You know, if you want to paddle out 100 feet into water and cast a line, do that. If you want to paddle 15 miles, you can do that, and you're connected. Like when that wind blows, you feel it. When you hear the fish moving around, like jumping out of the water, it's like you're connected. It's a different type of fishing. Um, I mean, I do all types of fishing, but like, when you're bank fishing, you're like trying to find a place to cast. When you're kayaking, you're just absorbed into the environment. You become part of it. And that's just a way to decompress and ground it with nature. Um, just nature and water heals, man. And when you're out there and all the noises disappear and you're just out there drifting through the marsh or down the river and you're seeing stuff like I don't know if you saw the video. I was fishing a tournament one day, and a black bear comes swimming across the river. I mean, where are you going to see that at? You're not going to be in a boat. That boat's going to scare it. But here I am wade fishing, and there's a black bear who wants to come check me out and come hang out with me. So, I mean, that's the kind of experience right there where you're just disconnected. You're smaller than everything else, and you can just let your problems just wash away. And I think people find that when they come out here on the water and they get on that water and they catch a few fish, and then my guides take their picture, and maybe they never bass fished before, and here they are not only bass fishing in a kayak, holding up a 18-inch largemouth. I mean, they look like a pro, man. A lot of them come back. A lot of them buy kayaks, and next thing you know, our great, amazing community gets bigger, and that's the best thing. Like I've meet so many people. Um, they'll text me later on, ask me questions about fishing and where to go. I share everything I know. I'm not the kind of person I'm like keep secrets. Um, for me, volunteering helps me heal. Helping people out and taking someone on the water, watching them land a big fish, and knowing that I made that happen. I mean a lot to me. So as a veteran myself, that's what helps me out. Like I was an NCO, so taking care of somebody else helps me. So, and when they have a good time and I see them on the
So
water,
let's
and next thing you know, we're fishing together. That's the kind of stuff I'd like to see. So that's kind of like what it's all about.
yeah. So kind of tell us a little bit about what the Heroes on the Water program offers.
So Heroes on the Water is a national nonprofit, 501c, and there's chapters all across the country. You can go on to heroesonthewater.org and find a chapter near you. Um, and basically, they'll have events where um, uh, first responder, military, veteran, and their family can sign up, grab a free ticket, and you basically just show up. We give you a kayak, fishing rod, a guide, put you on the water, give you some safety tips, make sure your life jackets fit, and then just take you out in the water and make sure you catch fish. And just that community and that support, and being able to put people on the water, you build those friends and that camaraderie that you were looking for. I talk to a lot of people. I have a lot of folks that come back to our events time after time. Um, Even our chapter on the Eastern Shore, we've had people drive 4 or 5 hours just to come show up and fish with us. So, if you're a kayak angler and you want to volunteer to help, that's what we need a lot of. We need you guys out there that kayak fish to come out and volunteer and take one of these veterans out there and show them how great it is to kayak and fish off of one. And a lot of times when their wives or kids come, they don't even want to fish; they just want to paddle around. So that's the other part of it. Like it's not all just fishing. Some of it's just kayaking and relaxing. Um, and then we buy you lunch. That's the best part. You, when we get off the water, we have lunch. That's when all the smack talking goes on. That's when the Army's giving the Marines a hard time. The Air Force is giving the Marines a hard time. The Coast Guard's giving the Marines a hard time. And we just smile and wave because that's what we do. So, yeah, just definitely check out Heroes on the Water. And if you can volunteer and come out there and like help guide some veterans and some first responders, that'd be great. We always love to have that extra help.
No, for sure. And moving on back here to Mr. Dale, um, talked a little bit about community engagement. Can you describe like maybe a memorable event that's happened for you out on the water that maybe impacted you um, significantly with just kind of grouping up, meeting different veterans or anglers and whatnot?
Wow. A single event? No, because honestly, every event I attend has something special about it. Um, so like I said, I started out just that 1 hour a day, and it's grown and grown and grown, and now I'm fishing tournaments. And I used to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and drive to the event and then drive back home. So I guess to answer your question, the one event was last summer. The event was 2.5 hours away, and I didn't feel like getting up that early for a 6 a.m. launch. So I camped out with some of the guys that I'd gotten to know locally that were going to camp out. And then that camaraderie that Rudy was talking about. So, two guys, former military, one not former military, and you wouldn't be able to spot who the one guy was not former military because we were all just sitting around the night before having a good time, talking, cutting up. And now I'm actually looking forward to it. I think this year I plan on camping out the night before on most events just to hang out with everybody. I don't really care about the fishing. I've never won any well, there was the trash fish side pot. We're not going to talk about that event. But it literally is all about the people I've met and the lifelong friendships that have already developed. Um, just it's an amazing. Rudy's talked about it. I'm just going to reiterate: when you're in the military or a first responder, you have that camaraderie at work. The kayak community is that same group of people, whether they're veterans or first responders or not. I haven't met a bad guy yet, and love being out there. And why is kayak fishing or just kayaking so much better than a boat? There are many tournaments I have gotten in my own head of what do I throw? Or do I look here? And then if I just stop, I'll drop my anchor and just sit there and look around and the peace and the quiet. I don't know if it helps me fish any better, but it clears my mind and I feel like I can move on to whatever's next. And that same thing in life, whatever's next, it helps you think through that. Yeah,
That's a good
that's my
answer.
buddy. My buddy Modog, he's the one that uh he's one of the veterans. And he and I go back and forth all the time. You would think we were brothers the way we go back and forth. And we keep things lively and keep our group entertained, I guess you should say.
It's your brothers in
Now,
arms.
there
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Now, how do you guys keep this community growing where you're at?
Um Actually, Rudy, I'm going to go to you on that one because that's something I still struggle with. Honestly, I struggle with that. So I want to, Rudy's been in this a whole lot longer than I have. So I want to hear his answer.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm like the biggest salesperson you ever saw. I'll be walking through a food line and see someone wearing
He
a
is very
Army or Marine
tall.
Corps hat. And I'll just start striking a conversation with people like, hey, man, thank you for your service. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, where are you in? And next we start talking, I'm like, hey, do you kayak fish? So every time I see a veteran out in public or a first responder, like I'm also a volunteer firefighter, um, and I go to an event, I'm like, hey, I'm pitching it. Like, you want to go kayak fishing? I got 22 kayaks sitting in my yard ready to go. Let's go. I've stopped before and just said, hey, you know, I got some kayaks. Let's go back down here to Rumbly and I'll take someone fishing. Um, I mean, that's one of the ways I met Will. I could see him on there. He came to one of the events and we were kayak fishing, and fishing wasn't that great. So I'm like, hey, come back to my place. We jumped in another kayak, went out there, and he landed a pretty big striper. So it's just like that's my thing. I'm always pitching it. It's like part of it. Um, I do the USA Bass and Jackson Kayak Trail in Maryland. We set up a couple of trails there, and every time I get out there and we're talking to people at the end of the time, you find out who's military, and we start chatting, and I start drumming them up. I had a few of the guys come out and help guide it in my events at Stone Street. So I'm always working on those chats. We lose Chad.
Did we lose Chad or I don't know. No, Chad's moving. I see his lips moving. I don't know if we lost his voice anyway.
No, I had it muted. That's my fault. I was talking to you and I
Oh,
had it muted. We lost Rudy. Rudy's on pause. You always, we in the marketing meetings at Jackson Kayak, we always like to frame the one that gets paused like that. And usually everybody gets like this weird look on their face, like they're in mid sentence. Rudy didn't get too bad of a pause, really. I mean,
no,
that's a solid
looks
pause.
pretty good.
He does. He looks good. Look at him. Just look at him.
So
Well,
while he was talking, we'll let him catch back up, and hopefully my dog doesn't go barking again. So he brought up some things. So everybody I work with, everybody that I'm friends with, they all know how I've gotten into the kayaking, and I think I need to take some tips from Rudy and start looking for those veterans and yeah, spreading the word. Just talking to more people, making that initial connection. I can do that at the VA clinic. I can do that anywhere. So that's why I wanted him to go because he's been in it longer and no, he's actually grown things. So
Oh yeah, he's Rudy. I got to give Rudy credit where credit's due. He's actually done a phenomenal job with them with the Jackson Kayak Trail, growing it in his area. I mean, he has gotten after it, especially after the first season. He really jumped in and went in for it, the second season, and he's back again for the third season and going even harder. So that's a really neat thing to see. Um, it's I was just complimenting you, sweetheart. And there you are.
we both
It's
were,
You
but
missed
you
it.
didn't get to
You
hear it.
missed it though. You missed it though. So don't
uh,
don't. You're back now. I ain't gonna say it again. You have to
Yeah.
rewatch it.
yeah. I live on the Tangier Sound, like right on the water, and it's windy out there. And I guess my internet must have started going, so I apologize. I switched to mobile.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Um, so yeah, promoting awareness. Let's talk about some of the different fundraiser initiatives that go into Heroes on the Water, Rudy. Maybe you can elaborate on that for us just a little bit.
Yeah, so like some fishing tournaments make donations, like the Ocean City Fish and Paddle Slam. People sign up; they'll have a Calcutta where they could sign up for that. Same thing with Tangier Classic fishing tournament, which is a 100% nonprofit fishing tournament. It they make a donation. I help guide a veteran there and do some work with the tournament. Um, a lot of local, like if you come out and fish with us or something, a lot of people will donate money to us to help keep it going. You can go on to heroesandwater.org. You could find a chapter near you and make a donation. Um, we have some folks online. They'll do like online tournaments where I had this guy Chris did a tournament, and he basically said, "You sign up, show me you donated $10, and then they had a bunch of tackle giveaways for like winners and stuff like that. So mainly that's the main way we do that. Also talk to a lot of like Mission Barbecue. They donate the meals for a couple of our events. They're great with supporting the military and military charities. So that's very helpful. But the main thing is really we get donations from you guys out there. People just $10, $20. You'll see my Facebook when my birthday comes around. I'll just have people donate to that. Um, I donate a lot of my time and money back to the charity as well. I buy things for the charity and just kind of just write it off for myself. Just try to help out. Um, so that's basically the main way we do it. They have some charity things during the year, and if you follow some of the Facebook pages, you'll see where they come out. Where we used to do a fishing tournament, but the turnout wasn't great for the tournament. So we'll probably come up with some new things this year, and I'll share them through the Heroes in the Water page that I support. But every chapter has a Heroes in the Water page, Facebook page that they put their events on, and they'll run their charity events through there. And then the national has a Circle of Honor, where you can become part of the Circle of Honor and then donate money to the charity and support one of your local chapters. So, are you on mute?
Yeah, he forgot to unmute himself again.
I do
Mm,
that.
That's two. That's two.
That's a bad habit. A third time I don't get a host anymore.
I don't
Um,
feel so bad.
no, I do it all the time. I'm out of practice, is what it amounts to. So the volunteering opportunities, there's a lot of different ways that you can be involved, and it doesn't necessarily have to be with Heroes on the Water. You can get involved volunteering in kayak fishing, in a multitude of ways. You guys kind of want to get into that and talk about different opportunities that are available for folks, like yourselves, that want to be a bigger part of the community, that maybe donating's not their thing, but they can donate their time through volunteering.
Go, Rudy.
Yeah, I
You're on the
mean,
big screen.
yeah, I see how that's working, Dell. That's always send the Marines in first. I get you. Um, so there's lots of opportunities out there. I know, like through Heroes on the Water, I go to a lot of state parks, and they have programs where they take like kids out and do like paddling trips and stuff like that. You could volunteer to help out, be one of the guides with that, just making sure. Like I think we were at Shad Landing, and a group of kids came up with a charity, and they were taking them out for a little trip through the cypress trees. So I mean, you can look for things like that. A local YMCA's sometimes they're looking for people to give like a couple classes on like paddle safety and stuff like that. So, for a lot of the anglers, you go out there do it all the time. Share some of your tips. Beside Heroes in the Water, I'm sure there's some other paddle charities out there too that do things like that. Some of the local shops have demo days. You can go out there, bring some of your kayaking knowledge, and help people get out on the water, support a local shop. So you get some more people out there on kayaks and grow the community. A couple things right there. Just be a good advocate for paddle sports too. Like you see someone at the store staring at paddles and life jackets and stuff like that. Share your feelings and thoughts, because obviously, when they get out there in the water, you want them to be safe and have a good time. And the way they do that is make sure they have the right equipment. So if they don't have the right equipment, they're not going to have a good time, and they're not going to want to keep paddling. So um, that's basically all I got right there, because most of my time goes into Heroes in the Water and chasing greenfish.
100% on
Yeah.
that last part, finding the people that are already looking. Because my local kayak shop's over an hour away, so got Academy and Dick's and all that closer by, and every time I'm there, I'll swing by the kayak area and see who's checking different things out, and kind of ask them what do they do, what are they looking for, um, and just get to know them that way. And you mentioned the other different volunteer opportunities, and there's like here in Oklahoma, the we've got the Arkansas chapter of something. I don't remember their whole name, and I wish I did right now. But they're primarily a whitewater organization. Your favorite flippy tippy boats. But every Sunday during the winter time, they go to a YMCA or someplace that has an indoor pool, and they teach uh, young kids all the way to adults how to get their role, how to be safe when they're looking at different water, but making sure they're confident in their abilities in a safe environment. So I really do need to get up there. They've been asking me a couple of times, and I asked them if I could bring my Kusa. They told me that it had to be washed off first and get all that nasty lake water off of it. But yeah, there's organizations everywhere, and that's just one here in Oklahoma that does things all through the winter doing pool work.
Actually, I went to my first time with reentry. I actually went to a Heroes on the Water thing and l- went through the process of falling out and reentry in the pool. Did it in the pool. That was really great. That was a good thing to be part of, and everybody learned a lot. And it was just cool to be there and helping different people. And yeah, so there's a lot of different things that you can do in those spaces. JK Trail. You can be a JK Trail director, right, Rudy?
Yes, you can.
You
You can
can.
start up a Jackson Kayak
You
Trail in
start.
a local lake near you.
Yeah, you don't even have to have a Jackson kayak. You can have any brand of kayak. You can still be a USA Bass and JK Trail director. Um, yeah, we'd love to have you. You got till April 1st. April 1st, you can start a trail, and then you're stuck till fall. Um, see, I got
Did you
on a
hear that,
tangent
Tim?
there.
I So my local tournament director was in the comments and just letting him know that he's got till April 1st to.
Yeah, April 1st, get a hold of us. I can help you. Rudy can help you. One of us will help you. We can get you there. You talked about a lot, but encouraging others. Dylan, I feel like this is a good question for you as well. Um, how do you encourage others that are maybe on the fence about getting into kayak fishing? I know that doesn't you get it doesn't matter if they're just a regular angler or even a veteran. It doesn't matter. you always get people that are a little bit timid when they see a kayak sitting there because the first thing that they say every time, "I'll fall out of that thing," and it's not necessarily the case. So, how do you how do you encourage others to, maybe try kayak fishing, kayaking?
Absolutely. I thought falling out was going to be the easiest thing in the world, um, but it's not. The thing about kayaking, especially kayak fishing, is we've all fished from the bank at some point in our lives, and we just wished we could get a little farther out, or we couldn't walk the bank because of the trees. If I only had a boat. Well, you can get a kayak, may not be a very good one, but your entry into kayak fishing is very inexpensive. Very inexpensive. Well, I don't have a truck. Well, you don't need a truck. You just need to find a way to get it there. And there's so many different ways to get a kayak to water. And so your entry into being able to be in a boat on the water is so inexpensive compared to the cheapest boat at Bass Pro Shops is what, $18,000? And yeah, you're going to need some type of truck to tow it. You can get into kayak fishing for under $1,000. And that gets you a really nice Jackson bite, a nice Warner paddle, and a nice PFD. You can't do that with a boat. So go to your local kayak shop, talk to them. I threw out Jackson Bite. There's your local kayak shop is going to have more than one brand, hopefully. So there's
I
many
want a really
options that
nice
are
bite,
going to
though.
fit you. Huh?
I want a
What'd you
really
say,
nice
Rudy?
bite, though. I was making sure Chad didn't forget about that one.
Really nice bite. But I mean,
Yeah,
there's,
It's a
oh,
really
and he's,
nice bite.
but you can
It's
get
really
into a
nice bite.
kayak so for so much less money than you can in a boat that you need to put gas in, have insurance, registration, and when you see that pond and you go talk to that farmer, you just take it off your vehicle and throw it into the pond and go fishing all day and in the center of a pond that nobody can cast to, where all the fish are bunched up at the bottom. Get a kayak.
Great. That is a nice boat, by the way.
there's too much glare coming off my head.
No, it's perfect. It's fine. It's fine.
Awesome.
I got sunglasses.
So let me talk about this bite real quick since Dell brought it up. So travel to Kentucky late and go there for the Jackson Kayak Classic, and then Chad showing off this bite that's got custom colors on it, black tip, OD green. I was like, man, I
You gotta
remember
tell
that
the story.
kayak.
You
I
gotta tell
Oh,
the
remember
from the
story
seeing
about
beginning.
photos of that one.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
the begin. You gotta start at the beginning if you're gonna tell this fine story.
So I'm on Jackson Kayak Fishing Team, and we were talking about like demoing some colors for the next season. And I came up, with this idea is like, black tipped OD green kayak. Um, so I put I order my boat and I go to pick it up, and there's some back and forth conversations about this bite that they did with black tips and OD green. I'm like, man, that thing's beautiful. I'm trying to buy it, and they wouldn't sell it to me. They're like, Chad already got it. Chad bought it. Chad took it. I'm like, well, why's Chad need it for? So that was like back in what, February, February,
Yeah,
March. It was like
thereabouts.
about this time of year last year, and it just disappeared, and we all forgot about it. Fast forward, come rolling up to Kentucky and show up at the dealer where we're doing the event, and there's this boat sitting there. He's like, "It's the boat we're gonna raffle off." I was like, "That looks really familiar." He's like, "Yeah, I bet you were wondering where that went to." I was just like, "I was wondering where that went to. I'm gonna have to win that." So I just started buying some raffle tickets, and it was like the last day we were doing. They were doing the raffles and the award ceremony. And when they raffled that off, somebody didn't believe that they pulled my ticket. He was amazed. So I was all excited, and that I won this kayak, and they pulled the wool over my eyes. They played a little joke on me, and
We
I guess
did.
I have to bring that up too. So when we got done the tournament, or the ceremony, and we're going to like leave and load up, I look over at the trailer and the kayak's gone, and I was like, what happened to the kayak? 'Cause I don't know. I think somebody loaded up and left, and then they like hid it behind a trailer, acted like somebody took it. So Chad's trying not to laugh. He was in on it. Like the whole crew from Maryland was in on it. It was a pretty good joke. They got me. I'm not gonna lie. They got me. Then he saw me sweating it out, and then he decided to break free. But I'll be bringing that kayak with me tomorrow to South Carolina. We're gonna get it wet down there at here's a water event we're driving to in the morning down in South Carolina. So
There it
Chad,
is
there it is, right before it disappeared.
again.
It was a beautiful boat.
Yeah, it is a good looking boat. And I wish that color would have, if you would have wanted this color, me and Rudy want to, we all want to hear from you in the comments. If you're watching this thing live and you can see this bite angler with the black tips and the OD green in the middle, let us know. Let us know if you like it, if you would want that specific color. We liked it.
It's definitely a tactical veteran color there. Black tip and OD green. Pretty stealthy.
It was a it was a good one, man. It was a
We're gonna
good
have to
one.
throw a we're gonna have to throw a Newport on that this year.
You want to sell it back?
Oh no, I'm gonna use it. Remember, I don't get rid of my kayaks, man. They're part of the family.
Well, technically, it's mine.
It
But
was
Rudy won it.
possession
Rudy
is not
won
against
it.
the law.
I know. I know. I gotta let it go. Gotta let
It's
it
here
go.
for you to use, man. Just whenever you come out here, Chad, I'll let you use it, and I'll take you out there, and we'll catch some red drum and rockfish.
I want to go striper fishing. That's what I want to do.
That's what we call
Oh
rockfish.
man,
Oh, come to Oklahoma with me, and we'll go to Lake Texoma. That is my dream, to get my gnar out there in the middle of a giant body of water striper fishing.
striper fishing's cool. All the cool kids like Charlie do it.
That's
That's
what I
for
grew
sure.
up doing, was striper fishing.
I've done it once. I've done it once. I'm not proud of how I did it. It was a guided trip, and I was not in my kayak, so I still feel like I have this box to check.
I got plenty of
Left
I
hand.
striper
just
right
don't
out there.
I just don't know how I'm gonna do it chasing them on the surface with these 23 and 25-foot guide boats around me. That could be fun.
See, Travis says that's a great color, and he's not a color guy. See, it's a great color. You should have made him. Future aspirations. I'm gonna start with Dale.
Oh no.
What do you see in the future for Dale? Where you want to take your kayak fishing adventures, and how do you plan to keep helping people?
Um, Number one, I want to be on the water as long as I physically can. And I've been in a boat one time fishing since I started kayak fishing. And I didn't realize how quickly I had progressed to I can't cast unless I'm sitting down. Um, and I've got back issues, so I can't stand up for very long. That's where kayaking is great. I get to sit down, I'm close to the water, I can skip baits, I can do whatever. So honestly, I want to keep kayak fishing until literally I cannot back. Now that I've got a gnar, it's a big kayak, so it's on a trailer. Until I can no longer get that into the water, I want to keep kayak fishing. Um, so just continuing to spread the word. I'm actually taking cues from you, Chad, on how to frame photos and trying to learn how to edit video, and just continuing to grow things. Whether I get a bunch of followers on social media or not, just continuing to show what I enjoy doing and how I clear my mind and relax and unwind in a positive way. And then continuing to meet great people that event I go to, I meet somebody new, and before I know it, we're messaging on Facebook 5 nights a week. So just continuing to meet great people, and as long as I can keep throwing a spinnerbait, I'll be doing it.
Does your wife get mad at you for going and meeting random people at strange dark boat ramps that you find on Facebook?
Uh, s- well, see, I'm in what we call the shady 580 of Oklahoma, where there is some shadiness. And yeah, there have been a couple of times I'm like, yeah, I'm going to meet this guy I met on Facebook over at the lake today. And she's like, are you sure? And
Yes.
they end up being great people. They're not weird people. The locals
No,
that I
it's
meet
like,
at the boat ramp are weirder than the people I meet kayak fishing.
yeah, the people that you meet on Facebook are fine. It's the locals that you got to be worried about.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell my wife that because she gets on to me all the time. She goes, "And how did you meet this person?" Well, I met him. I met him on Facebook. She's like,
Yeah,
"And you're just gonna go meet him? It's still dark outside." Yeah,
yeah,
we like fishing. We're best friends.
yeah.
How about you, Rudy? You like to meet strange
For
fishing people
me,
off Facebook in the dark?
for me, I just want to we'll do more traveling, fishing and traveling. Um, my kids are grown up now, and so go out there and meet people and fish new water. Like last year, my son was going through boot camp and stuff like that, so I traveled to Pensacola and South Carolina. So I have kayak, have trailer. We'll travel. Tomorrow, I'm going to South Carolina. I'm gonna get down there to Florida into the Gulf on that side. I'm gonna fish with um, Lesbury and go over to the other side of Texas and fish with Dustin. I'm gonna get out there. I'm gonna try to get out to Oklahoma. Maybe Dell can put me on some fish.
I was gonna say,
Uh,
you're all you got to do is drive north from Dustin, and you're gonna come right up to my area.
um, yeah, I'm definitely gonna start traveling and fishing more. I think I looked at my wallet when I bought my South Carolina license, and I got like 4 licenses now. With the for the card beside Maryland, so actually six. I'm sorry, I got 6 licenses now, 6 different states. So I'm gonna see if I can't get all 50 states and start doing some fishing. And as far as like what else I want to do, like I do Heroes on the Water. We do a lot of group events. I'm gonna try to do some more solo guided events where I just take like a one-on-one veteran out and just fish. And I already do that on my own. Like people call, like you said, they call you up or they want to go fishing. I'll take them out there, especially on the saltwater. A lot of people bass fish, but guys want to get out there and catch big specks and trout and red drum. And I just love getting them out there, showing them how to do it, and watch them just land some citations. And again, like Dell said, just keep doing it. So I can't do it anymore. I feel like I'm close to that because when I'm fishing with a bunch of veterans and we get back, it's not pretty when we get out of our kayak. I can tell you that. We're like
Oh
rolling
no, it's
over
not.
onto our knees and bones cracking, implants popping. It's not good, but we still do it. Uh, just got to get walking a
And then
little
the
bit
next
and
day
off the
with
rough
all the
stuff.
muscle cramps.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely. Have a bottle of Motrin in the car. Everyone's like, "Hey, well, why you got that out?" So I don't have to go get mine, and you're just sharing some Motrin to try to work with the pain. But
Is
it's
that
worth it, man.
getting?
It's
Is
worth
that
it.
where we're headed? Getting older, guys, is like we quit sharing beers and we start sharing Motrin and like the best icy hot version of
Well, if you
icy
serve,
hot.
and if you served in the military, you probably added 10 years to your age right off the back anyway, just to start, depending on what you did. So they kind of wear you
Yeah, I'm
down.
I'm
But
I'm past the days of Motrin. I have the prescription stuff, and I'm not talking Ranger candy prescription Motrin.
There you go. Well, guys, so we're here right about the hour, so I'm gonna let Rudy go ahead and start this segue. Tell people where to find you and how to get in touch with you on Facebook if they want to know more about Rudy Yarworth. Follow your Rudy Yarworth and become friends and meet Rudy Yarworth at a dark boat ramp sometime in the future.
so Rudy Yarworth on Facebook or Kayak Rudy on Instagram. Um, Yak Salty on YouTube, and just look me up, send me a message if you're in the area and want to go fishing, or want to meet up and fish the Jackson Kayak Trail on the Potomac, or on the Conowingo, or down here on the Eastern Shore. We have 3 different trails. I'll probably be fishing
Mhm.
all 3 of them if I'm not fishing one of the other local groups like MAKBF. And you can also check out my Facebook page for Tangier Sound Heroes in the Water. And if you don't find that, you can go to heroesinthewater.org and find my chapter on the Eastern Shore, and sign up for one of my events and be a guide. But I look forward to seeing you out there on the water. And like I said, send me a message. You have a question about anything, you see something on my Instagram, like that fish that I caught, you want to know where to go catch one like that, just message me. That's what it's all about.
Mr. Dale.
So on Facebook and Instagram, you can find me as Del Patton, like there on the screen. On YouTube, I rebranded about a year ago. Thanks, Chad. To Sigo Outdoors, SIGO, because I was a signal officer. That's where the Sigo comes from. Um, so this summer, I will be fishing with Western Oklahoma kayak anglers when I'm not traveling for work, unfortunately. But yeah, if you're ever in Oklahoma, hit me up on Instagram or Facebook, and I will meet you at the shadiest lake in the Shady 580 in the dark to go fishing with you. You won't be the first one that I've met in the middle of pitch blackness.
Yeah. We've all got more of that in the future, that's for sure. Especially anytime you go tournament fishing.
Oh yeah,
We kayakers,
that,
we got to start
be
early to get
prepared.
there. Yeah,
Be
just be
prepared. Your
prepared.
first event you go to, and they say sign up is at 5:30 at the boat ramp, and you show up and there are no lights anywhere, but the tournament director has their headlamp, and that's how you know that that's the tournament director. And you
Mhm.
pull up and there's 20 or 30 kayaks around. Yeah, be prepared for that. That was a shock, my first event. And now
Fair
I'm
enough.
great friends with half of them. So,
And working on the other half.
yeah.
Well, guys, thanks for watching. We appreciate the heck out of you. Check us out, jacksonkayak.com. Load up on those kayak fishing accessories. Now's the time. Now's the time. There's still ice out on the water in a lot of places around. So now's the time to be rigging up things. Get you an underseat bag. Get you some storage options. Get you a piece of tri-track to mount 3 graphs on it or something. Just do something with it fun. Hatch bin right there. So yeah, check it
I need to
out.
get me
Check
one of
out
them.
some of the new kayaks. And yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Episode 48 will be coming to you live on March 6th. So yeah, we will see you guys March 6th. Can't wait to see you again. Good night.